4. No, surely 1, 2, 3, 4. We do. Wow, this is the most black rhino I've ever seen in there, and they're a lot closer than the lions, let me tell you that. That is incredible. The most I've ever seen together was 7 down on the Sabi sand. But I think this is pretty good considering the populations in the Mara are not particularly grand. That's fantastic. Is this a record? What is the most rhino in one sighting that has been seen on Safari Live, and particularly here in the Mara? This is very nice. Let's try and figure out what's going on. That one on the right-hand side seems to be very interested. And I don't know if it's a female. Can we have a closer look so I can just try and identify the other ones on the right? Yes, that pair, because I think is a male and a female. I don't know. It's so far away. Let's see. Because that one was smelling the other one. But now they're obviously standing in a position that's made it particularly difficult for me to try and sex these rhinos. It's not very easy, even if you're just looking at them from a front end. You really have to rely for them to turn or lift their tails. You can obviously see the bits that make it a man, or sometimes you can see the udders of the female. If she doesn't have a calf, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult because obviously it won't be filled with milk. But very cool. That looks like a male. I think that's a boy there. And then, it's not, even though black rhino are territorial, both male and female mark and defend territories, I'm now starting to realize, I think these creatures are actually a lot more social than we think, and we just don't capture them interacting with one another. He's actually marking his territory on the right now. He just urine sprayed, which is quite spectacular, the one further to the right. He's got his tail curled up at the moment, so they'll actually spray urine back. So what I'm saying is I don't think we capture their interactions. I mean, David Attenborough got he captured some amazing footage of, I can't remember how many black rhinos it was. I think it was in Etosha, all coming down and interacting around a waterhole, which you can understand because a waterhole is a common source, so territories would overlap. Now, Paula, you're wondering if it is common for rhinos to move around in groups. It's more common for white rhinos. You'll sometimes see females grouping together with their offspring. It's not as common with the black rhinos, but now I can't tell you how many times I've seen black rhinos in groups and moving around with one another. So like I said, I think it's the more and more we're out here and we sit and we experience these unusual things, I think we're gonna start saying otherwise. Remember, what's written in books is just one person or 2 or 3 people's experiences, and it all depends on a particular area. So behavior is not just unique to an individual, it's actually area specific, or area and then of course species specific. So the black rhino up here might act slightly different. I don't think so though. They're now doing exactly what's happened in the Sabi sand. So maybe this is a common point where a few different rhinos, male and female territories, perhaps overlap one another, and they all just happened to be in this area. Maybe there's a female coming into estrus, and the boys are getting quite excited and they're picking up on her scent, because she'll also mark and defend territory. So she'll be leaving dung, she'll be leaving urine, and this will be very, very attractive to the males. And maybe that's the big dominant bull. I haven't seen any others scent marking, so there might be some young males in here, and he could tolerate them. Maybe they're not ready to be mated with. Maybe there's already been an argument between them and they've established dominance. There we go, you see he's marking again. They've established dominance amongst one another, and there's no need to have another dispute. But, of course, I can't see with all the shrubs around it being quite far away how many males, how many females are within this group of 4. But it's very, very interesting seeing things like this. It is amazing. And I think we mustn't take sightings like this for granted. And I've gone and I've been the worst guide for the last 2 days because I keep leaving my notebook in my room. I work on it and then I forget to take it out on safari with me. And it's very important that you do take notes of things like this and where you've seen them, because maybe you can have a similar, encounter. Okay, so we know that's a big bull. I mean, he's a lovely size. He's marking. His tip of his horn is even been knocked off. So I think that just goes to show that he has been in a couple of battles before. Off he goes. And then, can we have a look at that one on the right there? I just want to see, no, the one that we were just on. Yeah, I just want to see now that they've got their bottom. That's a female. So there we go. 1 male, 1 female. And then we'll have to just wait for the others to come out around so we can actually see who they are. This is so cool. And this is a particularly good area for black rhino. We see them often. Come on, who else has got their bottoms towards us? That's another female. That's a big girl too. So 2 adult females by the looks of it. Now we just need to get what the sex of the third unknown rhino, who has now disappeared down into the drainage line, I think. So I wonder what's gone on here. It's either going to be a sub-adult male, it could be the offspring of one of the females, because we know that there is a female that's hanging around with a young male, which is obviously her calf, her older calf. Let's see, very, very interesting though. And there's a car driving on the back, so that's just outside the reserve. You know, they're just munching on all the little shrubs there, so they're not eating grass, even though it looks like it when he sticks his head in the ground. It's actually on the little shrubs. Now, Jody, you're wondering if rhinos have harems. So no, it's not like, for instance, a group of zebra where you'll have a stallion and his favorite mares that live around with him. That's not the case. So like I said, male and female black rhinos mark and defend territory. So they live solitary. However, on occasion, it has been recorded, as we're seeing now, where you will see groups of black rhino. Like I said, the most I've ever seen was in the southern Sabi Sand, and that was 7 black rhino together. It was a combination of males, females with youngsters, and sub-adult males. So obviously the older calves, the second generation from the females that have got the younger calves. That's what I would imagine. Or it's just some boys that have been wandering around by themselves and maybe joined up for companionship. Remember, that's those years... first few years after being kicked out from mom's side, when the new calf is born, it'll probably take them a bit of adjustment. So they might be looking to socialize until they realize the way of life and the way of the black rhino. And then I said with the white rhinos, they tend to be a bit more social, but again, there's no harem. A male will mark and defend territories. They're constantly on patrols, you know, re-establishing their territories and scent marking. Rhinos, both species, are very, very big on scent marking. And he will pass through, and if he sees a female, or if he picks up on a female scent and she's coming into estrus, he'll stop his territorial patrol and he will pursue that female and then try and court her for a little bit. So no harems, a completely different social structure to what we see with impala, with zebra, and even to an extent with wildebeest too. So very, very different, but very cool to see. Wow. It seems as though these rhino are disappearing into the bushes now. They're going further away, which is pretty spectacular, though. I hope you enjoyed this. This is one for the books. Our dear friend Scott on the other side of the river has lived up to his nickname, and he's managed to find his spotted friends.